Just appreciate everybody being on, and you know, this is par for the course for 2020, right? You know, just yeah, virtual, and you know, gotten used to Zoom calls and all that stuff. But we were very glad to finally be in the game week situation. Most unusual year. That's probably an understatement. You know, to prepare for and get ready for. I mean, we've you know, we've not treated it exactly like fall camp, but we've been practicing for a long time to get to this point. But you know, we're so excited just to have a game. So difficult circumstances to prepare for. You don't have a game in, you know, September, and it's October before you play, and you know, there's no, you know, blueprint of how you handle that and how you get ready. So we've done the very best we can do to prepare and under the situation that we've had, and you know, not ever prepared for a team that's already played 2 games before we've played a game. So I think that's difficult as well. So you know, they've got 2 games and in game shape and all that stuff. So I think it's been you know, very hard to, you know, without a full summer and you know, a normal summer at least of getting ready to play. So you worry about, you know, preparing you guys, you know, to be able to play, and how much is too much and how much is too little. And you know, we've been talking the last several weeks about all those things. But you know, we're excited to be, you know, going to play somebody else and see kind of where we are. And well, no better way to do that when you know, dominant historical program of FSU and going and having that challenge to go and play in them. And I know everybody's going to talk about, hey, well, they're 0-2, didn't look really good Saturday, but they're still Florida State. They still got Florida State talent, and so it's going to be, we got our work cut out for Saturday. I think they're still a well-coached team. It's this staff's first year there with no spring training, so I think they've been in some very difficult situations as well to get ready for this season, just like everybody else has. It's playing, but we're glad to be one of the FCS programs that are playing in the fall and look forward to Saturday. So I'll just open up to questions. I know I don't want to sit here and try to answer too many of them in the opening statement, so I just want to answer what y'all have for me. Good, Craig. Appreciate you being on, man. That's awesome. You ain't got a whole lot of FCS football to cover, right? So we appreciate you being on.
Sure. Thank you for the time. What you just were talking about, because of the unusual summer, do you feel this team is prepared? Are you at the same level of preparation as you would in any other year?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think nobody is. And the scary thing you have as a coach, and I think me and Mark talked about this, you know, here a few weeks ago. When you seen the first games played, it was very evident that teams had treated this situation differently, you know. And you don't want to put your team out there unprepared. You know, our job is to get them prepared and be ready to play. And that's what I was talking about: how much is too much and how much is too little. But you could very well tell the first week of who had blocked and tackled, you know, because some teams looked very poor at doing that the first week, and some teams looked really good at doing that. And the talent gap wasn't those far. There wasn't that big of a gap in those competitions, so it was all about preparation. So hopefully we've had a good mix of how we've prepared and gotten ready. But I think it's very, very hard. You know, to do under these circumstances. We're not nowhere near. We didn't do the same type conditioning this summer because you can't get that isolated. You know, when you lose, I think, spring training, you go into summer and your guys are isolated. And even when we had them in the summer, we're broke into groups of 6, groups of 12. There was not a lot of team stuff that you could do. So, and then you had, you know, this group was quarantined, this group was quarantined. So, you know, when you take a guy and he's in the middle of all season and he loses 14 days, you know, that's devastating. I think any time in all season you lose 14 days. So it's been a difficult situation to prepare for.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Coach, with such a young wide receivers unit, what adjustments does your offense have to make? Does Zerrick have to make?
Yes, definitely. And those guys are all going to be new, and we lost some great ones last year. And, you know, those guys have been a staple of what we've been doing for 2 and 3 years, and you're breaking in a new bunch. And I think we got some young, talented guys that you'll learn some new names, and I think they're going to be very good. But they're going to be more blue collar. I can tell you this. I don't think right now that, they're going to be able to step in where those older guys have been, playing for years and making those plays. We got to be more blue collar and, more possession type receivers and things like that. But I think there's some ability there, and they'll kind of grow as we go and get better. So, like I said, it's been difficult to kind of prepare them as well because we lost spring training. We thought we had a spring training. We thought we had a normal fall camp and summer and things like that. So you lost a bunch of, with a veteran team, you wouldn't be as concerned about a unit. But that unit being so young, that is one of the concerns going into this season is how well and how quickly can those guys perform and make plays.
Thank you.
John, is everybody healthy? And in particular, do you have any players that aren't going to be able to play because of quarantine? And then also, looking at freshmen and in particular Ron Wiggins, is he fitting into the plans this year?
Well, Ron is, right now practicing and stuff, and will not be dressing. That's just some things where he's got to get on field academically and stuff from high school. But as far as COVID testing, I need to hold my breath the rest of this press conference because I don't know yet. We tested yesterday, so we got all the results back in. Right now, we're okay. So we hadn't had any positives so far. So player-wise, so hopefully that'll hold true as we go. Because these ACC games, you got to test really basically 4 times. We got to test on Monday, you got to test on Wednesday, you got to test on Friday when you get to the location. And then you got to test again on Monday, coming out of the game. So, like I said, a lot of testing revolves around getting our guys on the field. And, I'd just like to take just a small moment to say, thank you to everybody involved, from our training staff to our administration, to make this happen. There's a lot of FCS schools that were not willing to go through what we've went through to get on the field on Saturday. So I appreciate, our administration, our players, our staff, just making the commitment to playing, because there's a lot of FCS teams that opted out of playing. They had the same opportunity we had to play, and their team voted not to play. So I feel good about our administration giving us that opportunity, and I feel good about our players wanting to play. So this is going to be a joy of getting on the field, I think, and being able to play football this fall. Because there was times where even myself didn't think this was going to happen. I didn't know if we was going to have college football to any extent, this fall. So it's a blessing, I think, and an opportunity for us to play. So I'm grateful for that. Injury-wise, we've lost a few guys, just that will be out of this game. But for overall-wise, we're pretty healthy right now, moving forward.
Jacquez is back this year, and can you kind of speak to what he's gone through the last year and then how he's looked in preseason?
Boy, what a story, right? I mean, he played a lot of games early for us, even as a redshirt freshman, and has come in and to me been a great corner, and then had all the back problems 2 years ago and missed all of last season, and something me and him talked about. Maybe didn't need to play anymore. That type of a major situation. So for him to make the commitment to go through what he's went through, from a major back surgery to recovering from that, and all the things he's had to do to keep himself on the field and still be a student athlete, and keep his grades right and all those things, I take my hat off to him. He loves football, and you see that when he plays. He's just committed, to this team and playing. And like I said, it's so much fun to see him out there practicing and playing. So he's ready to go. Hadn't had any problems. So it's a joy to have him back on the field.
Coach Gross, is anyone in quarantine now?
No, we practiced the other day. The first time we've had our full team all fall, was last week. So it was good to have everybody out there. So we are in a bubble right now. So hopefully we can stay that way. And we've been talking about that a lot since middle of last week, probably last Wednesday, of be careful who you're around and things like that. So our guys have done a pretty good job of that, and hopefully that'll hold true as we move forward.
Forgive me for not knowing, but has he announced whether he's going to play for Jacksonville State in the spring?
He is not. We've not really talked a lot about it. I mean, he is definitely considering it. I know when we talked about it, back in the summer with this year not counting and all those things. But I think that's something we kind of, got to look at the end of this fall. And I'm always for players. Now, I'll sit down and talk with them openly and, just see what their opinion is, what our opinion is after you talk to scouts and things like that. But, I don't know. You come out of this year and he's a draftable guy. Possibly he goes. I don't know. I think it'll be where that goes, but I don't see it being a stretch to say that he wouldn't come back. So I think there's a potential that he could come back, and we just want the best for Zerrick. If it's best for him to go on and go, then I support that, and if it's another year would help him, then we're by all means would love to have him back.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, look at the Saturday, Florida State's depth chart, 3 points turned over. I think this was prepared before we still with Georgia Tech. How does that factor in preparation?
They all look good. So you can go 2 or 3 deep down on their deal. They're all 4- and 5-star guys. So how much better is the guy that they're replacing the guy that's really good with? So I think they're going through being a staff's first year, and you would think that this would go on in a first year. No spring training, really, no summer, and you come in and you got guys trying to battle for positions, and I think you'll see more and more younger players playing as this thing moves along for this staff under these situations. But they're very, very talented, and like I said, they're trying to move guys around or changing up schematically of what their personnel can do. And I think at times right now the personnel can't do what they really want to do. So that's kind of both sides of the ball. But they're all talented. I don't think the depth chart really. You can look at that. You replace a corner with another corner that's a 4- or 5-star coming out of high school. So they're all really good players and can get the job done. I think they got a great football team. That's best 0-2 football team I've ever seen for sure. And they got a great, as good a defensive line as probably anybody in the country. That's where they stand out. Now other spots, they're not that, but they're a talented football team.
You guys scrimmaged more this preseason than normal. Did you get out of that what you wanted to get out of it?
I think so, Mark. As good as we could do. We have got a lot of reps against each other. So if we lined up and played each other, we'd be really good at that, I would think. So you've got more scrimmages in, which we kind of treated. The first of that deal, knowing that we were probably not going to play early. We treated that more like a spring training. The early weeks of that and kind of making up for not having spring training. So that kind of worked out, and I think we took a pause there when we found out for sure that our first game was going to be canceled, and I think that kind of helped break it up a little bit. And then we come back in, we went, we didn't go a lot of back-to-back heavy days like you would do in a normal traditional fall camp. We kind of broke that up, and went really, really hard about 3 days a week with a scrimmage, and 2 days a week was a little bit lighter. So I think like I said, you'll never know if it was right or wrong, but we feel like we've prepared as well as we could possibly under these situations.
Hey, Coach, it's Teddy. How are you doing?
Teddy, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
I hate y'all gonna miss the calf today, you and Mark. I hate that for y'all.
I know. I said something to Josh about that. If I was going to get some virtual calf, but I guess that's going to be it now. I wanted to ask you about running backs. There's a bunch of oars on that depth chart. And can you talk a little bit about that battle and when you're hoping to have a decision made there?
Yeah, well, that decision is going to be rotated. We feel like we got 4 guys that can really get it done there, and we feel good with all of them in the game. So it's going to be a hot hand type deal, and back to where we've done that in the past where we had 3 or 4 guys that were very, very similar, and rotate them guys in and see who's got the hot hand and go with it. And I don't think there's just not one that's way ahead of the other ones, and that's a good thing because they're all fairly equal. Some of them bring a little bit different skill set than other ones, but they're all bigger guys that run the ball extremely hard, and they don't mind pass proing and catch the ball out of the backfield well. So we feel good about that unit, and they're just solid. it's good. They're good teammates. They pull for one another. So, like I said, you're going to see that oar stay there probably all 4 of these games we've got in the fall, I would say.
Having a guy like Trey Berryback's always huge, but especially with that receiving core being so, inexperienced. Just kind of speak on him being able to come back and play. He was always such a big part of the offense.
No doubt, and you don't make excuses or anything, but that our offense took a blow losing him last year. That's for sure. He was as good a playmaker as we had offensively, and getting him back, and hopefully, he's not back 100% yet. I mean, I think he's got to get hit a little bit and banged around in the game before he gets all the way back. But he's getting close. So have him back in the lineup, and I think our tight ends, with him and Landon Rice both, bringing those young receivers along, it's going to be good to have 2 older tight ends that can make plays and help our offense. So, definitely we'll look to get the ball to them, and they'll be a big part of what we do.
I know at times last year the kicking game was a struggle. Just how have you seen that progress this offseason into the season opener?
Well, I mean, I think we've worked really hard on it. We got a lot of competition at kicker, so, I mean, I think we got a true freshman that's kind of won that job right now, and, we'll see how he does when they start doing the chomp at Florida State and how he handles that situation. But, like I said, I mean, he's got a leg, and he's doing a really good job for us right now, and I think our punting situation is fine. We lost one. We felt like we had 2 really good punters last year, so we feel like that's shored up and going to be good as well.
Will you play some young guys that caught your attention in the fall workouts here? Will they see some action Saturday or in the 4 games?
They will. I mean, we got some freshman guys, redshirt freshman guys that'll play. We're still a very young football team. We were young last year, and we're equally as young this year because, all those guys back played up front both sides of the ball, they're back a year older, but they're still young. We don't lose a lot, this year, and definitely with the year not counting, so you really don't lose any of your seniors. We'll get to play the same team for 2 or 3 years, and that's an advantage for sure. So, like I said, even the freshman class coming in and last year's freshman class, both we feel like we're solid classes, so you'll see some of those guys on the field.
Could P.J. Wells be one of the guys in that receiver rotation?
Possibly, and I know he's a local guy, and PJ's doing a really nice job for us and coming along, and there's a lot of competition right now at that receiver unit for sure.
Anything else, Coach?
I've got a couple if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
John, with FSU 0-2, struggling, trying to find themselves, not a lot of folks are going to there to be cheering on the Noles. I mean, the chop, as you mentioned, is probably not going to be as loud and boisterous as it used to be. I mean, what do you tell your players? I mean, you tell them, look, this plays to our advantage. We got a shot here.
Well, I mean, our guys are excited to play. I don't think it would matter who we're playing. They've been practicing long. They're ready to play somebody. But they're definitely, excited about playing on that stage and getting to go play in that stadium and that caliber team. And I think they're welcoming that challenge. But it is a challenge. I think they do know that. And, people will say, hey, we're catching them at a great time. They're 0-2. They didn't look really good, Saturday, all those things. But I go back to they're still Florida State. I think when they put that helmet on, they know who they are, and they play like that. So we got our work cut out for us. Our players really understand that. And like I said, it's going to be, I'm glad that they're not going to have their full capacity for sure. So that will help for sure if anything does help. But it's going to be a fun experience for our guys, and we're looking forward to going there playing. And I think the way the game goes, I mean, for us to have a shot in the game, I mean, we talk about the things that we have to do, to stay in the game and give ourselves a chance to win. And I think you got to go there and get off to a fast start and make something good happen early. And you got to not turn the ball over and not give up explosive plays. And if we can not give up explosive plays defensively and not turn the ball over offensively and don't give them a cheap one in the kicking game, we'll have a shot. How good a shot that'll be, but we'll have a shot for sure. But these games are always fun for us to play in. you know, and like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. But like I said, I think Norvell and his group, they do a fantastic job of getting guys to play extremely hard and play well. And like I said, I think the pandemic has really hurt, you know, a new staff coming in. And I think that would be par for the course if you look around the country of new staffs that's come in this situation. And you lose spring training, you lose a summer, all those things. It's hard to implement a program and change a culture under the circumstances they're in. So I don't wish any ill will, but I hope they don't fix things that they need to fix very quickly. Not this week. They can fix it the next week, okay, when they go back into their ACC schedule. Prep-wise, I worry first and foremost, is why I do my job, is players, you know. So I worry about player safety and those things. So, you know, we've tried to do our very best job of protecting our guys, you know, from the COVID, number one, and making sure we did a good job of following, you know, all the protocols, and the protocols were ever changing. I think that's one of the, and they're still changing, right? I mean, from every state to state to city, you go in a different situation of what the ordinance is and what you can do, can't do. And, you know, really, I don't think there was no blueprint for that either. So nobody knew what was going on or how to handle this situation. So, like I said, the most difficult, challenging year I've ever had as far as coaching. And like I said, we've done the best we can do with it. And I'm just happy to be playing. You know, I mean, there's times when we all thought we wasn't playing and weren't gonna have the opportunity.
It feels good, you know. I missed playing with my guys, you know. It's been a roller coaster ride for me. I didn't think I'd be back, you know, and it just feels good to be back. You know. Hopefully we can get a win Saturday.
Any questions for Jacquez, guys? Jacquez, it's Joe Medley. Can you kind of take us back through the back problems and what specifically the problem was and kind of what you had to go through to get back?
Well, it started off in, I think, June. I had like leg problems, like my hip flexor and not my hip flexor, my it's like the back of my, it's like, well, just make it short. I had leg pain, and we thought it was just like stiffness in my leg, so we just kept going to see will it just like loosen up, but it wouldn't. And we got to like July, and it was just like pain. The pain just got higher and higher, and it started like burning. It was like a burning sensation. So we went and got it checked out. And well, first I was gonna get an epidural to try to play, but I got the epidural, but it was still hurting. So then my next option was to get surgery. So we had got surgery, but I had got a microdiscectomy, which I think it was like in my L4. And for what was the next question?
Just kind of what you've been through the last year to try to get back, and what kind of rehab, what all was involved there?
I did a lot of leg stuff, like a lot of leg presses and stuff like that. Rehab was hard because I didn't think I would like be back. I didn't tell nobody I didn't think I would be back, but you know, I didn't think I was gonna be back because my leg was still hurting at the time, like after my surgery. And like I just did a lot of leg stuff, a lot of running, you know, a lot of walking, because like that was gonna help me like loosen my leg up and stuff.
You mentioned L4. Was it an impingement on your spinal cord?
Yes, sir. Like it was I had I think it's sciatic nerve. It was a lot of sciatic nerve pain.
And take us through the discussion of whether or not you would be playing football again. Who was there? How much doubt was there, and when did you get to a point when you know you'd be back?
It was really never a doubt for my doctor. My doctor said I would be playing again because he did like the same surgery on the Chiefs linebacker D4, and he said he was back the next year. So it was a never doubt for him. It was just a doubt for me because of the way I was feeling. You know, I was hurting bad, so I didn't think I would be back. But I just kept working, and I say by spring, I had practice one day, and I knew I was ready then. You know.
Was it something that was caused by any kind of football activity or weightlifting or something like that, or did they know?
We don't know. It just came out of nowhere. Like I said, I was just having leg pain. It was like, I think it was just normal for me, you know, and we didn't know. Like, they thought I got in a car crash or something. You know, they just kept asking me, "Are you sure you didn't do nothing like to hurt yourself?" Like, 'cause it wasn't football wise. Yeah.
When Coach Ross was on a minute ago, he said it went back 2 years. Were you having problems with this for a couple of years?
Well, yeah, like I always had back problems. You know, I got a degenerative disc. You know, so I always had back problems. But like, it was like I can like play with it though. But like when my legs started hurting and my disc had herniated, I couldn't do it no more. I just couldn't do it.
Jacquez, Craig Haley from Stats Perform. Can you talk about what are some of your thoughts that you're going to play a season that you play 4 games and you have like 4 months off and then you continue the season? What are some of those thoughts of a schedule like that?
It's crazy because we didn't expect to have 4 games. You know, everybody wanted to play a full season. You know, but like I really don't know. Like I don't know about the little 4 games. Honestly, like, but I want to play them though. Like I want to play because I took a whole year off. So like I'm happy to play these 4 games. Like I'm ready to play. I'm so pumped up to play.
Can you tell something, some kind of play that Zerrick's made over time that you still just go, wow?
Well, I played in 2018. I think I can remember some plays though. I think we was playing Mississippi. I think it's Mississippi Valley State, and he made a pass to Josh Pearson to the sideline. It was pretty cool. He made a lot of plays though. I didn't see him make a lot of plays, so I mean, I love watching him play though. I love practicing against him too. It makes me better. I make him better, you know.
Oh man, it's feel amazing. I mean, me and my team, this is something that we've been waiting for the longest. Going through the summer, we was uncertain about having a season, and when we got the news that we having 4 games, it was like a moment of joy for me. I know for my team, and we just happy, ready to play this week.
Questions for Zerrick. Coach Cross has said that within the past week you finally got the whole team out there. What has that meant to you as a quarterback to have everyone around you who's supposed to be there?
Man, it feels good to have the team around me. I know at the end of the day, I go to war for them, they'll go to war for me. And being that I have them on my back, I know that could take us a long way. Only being that we only have 4 games, but even if we had them a long season, I'm pretty sure we'll go out at bat with a lot of teams.
Craig Haley from Stats Perform. Coach had talked about having a young wide receivers group. Can you talk about your development with them, as they come along? Just what do you have to do to make adjustments?
I mean, honestly, I just got to be patient. The receiver group that I had the past 2 years that I had, they was more upperclassmen, veterans, so they knew my weaknesses, they knew my strengths. So this group going in, we didn't have a summer, so I didn't have much time to work with them and get down timing. So right now it's just really I'm still learning them, but I'm also being patient and just tell them certain ways to get off releases or how I like my routes ran. So right now I'm just being patient.
Describe what you consider to be your strengths and what you consider to be your weaknesses.
That's something that I discuss with them. I'm not willing to put that out.
What have you worked to improve on then?
Right now I just worked on footwork, keeping my base kind of narrow.
Coop, what has it meant to have Trey Berry back?
Oh man, that's my guy. Last year I missed him. This year, I mean, that's part of my 1-2 punch. Tom Brady to Grump. Keep it real with you. I'm just happy to be. He's back. We just got to get on the same page, being that we didn't have that summer. So right now we just trying to progress at any moment that we have together.
Did you play against Florida State when you were in blue?
I didn't.
So your first trip down there too, right?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think I did. I might have did the year I left, but I'm not sure that I did. I believe I did, because we played at Clemson.
Eric,
Zerrick, how good is it to see Jacquez back out there, and how has he looked now that he's back healthy again?
It's great to have Jacquez out there. He's one of them guys that all the corners and pretty much all the defense, they look up to him. Last year, he was a missing part. He's our lockdown corner that we have other than Ewell. And now that we got him, I think our defense is going to be ready for this weekend and just moving forward throughout the season.
Zerrick, obviously after the season, you're going to have to decide whether you pursue your NFL career or if you play in the spring. You know, a lot of emotions go into that with knowing that you have all your teammates here. Just can you talk about that? What's going to go into that decision-making process for you?
Right now, I haven't thought much about moving forward in my career. Right now, I'm just focused on the 4 games that we have and just enjoying my college moments right now.
Can I ask a couple more?
Yes.
So Zerrick, I know that at one point when everything was, kind of all the news was going crazy, people were, conferences were opting out and all that stuff. You had expressed some concerns about playing. What kind of eased your mind when it came to, yeah, just good. This is safe to do this. I'm ready to play.
I mean, me personally, how my thoughts are, I mean, that's something that we can't control. So, I mean, we just got to prepare for any given moment. So, I mean, that's going into the season, we got to have young guys ready to play. I mean, catching COVID, that's out of control. We can't say, oh, I want to get COVID and sit out this week. So, I mean, for me, it was just continue to do what you do. Stay out the way, wash your hands, hand sanitizer, and just pray and hope that you don't catch it. So that's my personal thoughts on that.
And just to be able to go out there and be with your guys, I mean, you talked about it earlier, but here you're playing Florida State, a program they're 0-2, they're struggling to find themselves. There's not going to be much energy, in the stadium. Do you feel like it helps give you a shot to go in there and knock off those guys?
I mean, right now, I'm going into the game, I'm telling my guys, don't look at that record. Right now, that's something that we can't do because being that they are Florida State, they're Power 5. So with that mindset, we got to go in and pretend like they're a Clemson. So, I mean, being that they're on 2, we can't look at that record. We just got to look at the game.
Zerrick, does this feel different playing, a team with the history of Florida State?
It doesn't. I mean, you just prepare like any other game for real. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're playing Florida State, Clemson, or Alabama. I mean, it's still a game. They put on shoulder pads and helmets just like we do.